know him from the Smiley Morning Show. Now he's got his own show. Radio Theology is on ZPL. Here's Pub Pastor Daron.
It's that time again. Radio Theology on the airwaves right here in Central Indiana. So good to be with you this morning. We are your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Daron here with Ryan and Lisa. If you haven't done so, perfect time to join us on social media, Facebook, Instagram. Just search for Radio Theology. We're the only one in the world.
That's right.
And guys, we're going to jump right in today. It's not going to be a comfortable conversation, but I think it needs to be had.
Yep.
There's a few places in life that are just awkward.
Mm-hmm.
Awkward things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
No one really wants to go there, but we all have to.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm talking about.
Yeah. Like what? Give me an example here.
I'm just going to say it.
Go ahead.
Public restroom.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
Lisa, you had a situation that put you on, let's just say, pins and needles. So Lisa, take us there. Take us there.
Okay, so I'm in the public restroom, 3 stalls, 2 filled, and so I go into the only available one, which was the middle, so already I'm nervous.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
tough.
Right? Because
Surrounded.
oh boy. And people think, oh, girls, they go to the bathroom together. No thanks. I want the public restroom all to myself.
Vacancy. Yeah.
Yes. So, and I just come off the roads. I've been traveling, so I have literally the world's longest pee. I mean, I'm just peeing for days. And next to me, this woman, all I hear is, "Oh, bless you, Lord." And I'm like,
What?
okay, she's praying. She's praying.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And I'm like, okay, this is fine. Just pee faster. So instantly, my anxiety through the roof. I start sweating a little bit because I don't want to hear anything. And in case she's praying for what's about to happen, and
Yeah.
I'm probably about to hear it, and my mind just, rah! And so then she's like, oh, thank you, Jesus.
Oh,
and I'm like,
Did you hear things
no,
happening?
there was nothing
There's
happening.
no noise.
There's
no
no
bloops
noise.
or grunts.
Nothing that would indicate that she is passing something that would need prayer, right? I don't know. But I was freaking all the way out, and I didn't know what to do because, again, I'm just peeing, and I can't will it to go fast enough. I am pushing as hard as I can.
Wow.
And I'm like, please. And then there was a final, oh, yes, bless you, Jesus. And I was like, I gotta go.
Wow.
I gotta go. And I almost sprinted out without even washing my hands. But then I'm like, no,
Yeah,
okay,
You got to do that.
we're in the public restroom. Wash
Radio
your
Theology,
hands.
your weekly dose of I'm not sure what we're doing this morning. We're going to try to get to faith, hope, and love. So this sounded like this was a Holy Spirit anointed movement.
Yeah,
Of some sort.
of some sort in the bowel-ish region.
I mean, Ryan, what
maybe.
would you call it? What do you think she was doing?
She was raising a poopalooya.
Oh, no. No.
How would you, if you were to put that into a song, Ryan, how would it go?
I raise a poopalooya.
Wow.
In the last stall in the public restroom. Was she grunting?
No grunting, no nothing. There was zero noise besides the...
Did you interview her afterwards?
Thank you, Jesus. No, I didn't. She did come up behind me on, because there's one sink.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, the world's fastest hand wash, right? I gotta go. And then she's coming out with her little cane, and she's got on her little old lady everything, and I'm
Maybe
like...
she was just happy she wasn't dying.
Possibly.
Could've been.
Maybe
Could've
just
been.
every time she just gets a spare moment, she praises the Lord.
You know what?
It can be a spiritual experience if you've got to go and you got to do your thing like that, and it happens. It can be amazing.
I agree, Ryan.
Life changing, day changing.
I've had some moments where I have genuinely thanked God for what had just happened. Maybe that happened. Maybe she had been struggling.
Yeah.
Yep.
She had the movement.
Yeah.
In the last, you know what? The Bible does tell us to pray without ceasing, and in all things.
That's right.
Give thanks.
That's true.
She was just being biblical.
And maybe God oh my gosh, maybe God in his kindness to me
Yes.
made my ears deaf. All I could hear was the
Yeah,
sound
was
of her praise
the
and not the
praise.
sound
I'm saying
of her
it was
poop.
post movement. It happened, and she was just glowing in the moment.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus. Is it rude to leave a voicemail for a friend? Evidently, the survey says yes. It's Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. This is Pastor Daron here with Ryan and Lisa. Guys, saw this study. Ryan, pull it up for us. Hit us with what is now rude.
All right, so it's apparently rude to use punctuation at the end of text messages because it might seem like you're being rude or angry at the recipient.
I thought that was just English.
Yeah.
Right.
It's rude to reply all.
Yes. I will
That's
say.
rude. It's annoying.
It's rude to leave a voicemail ever.
What?
You can't leave a voicemail. If you call someone and they don't pick up, this study says drop them an email or text them instead. This is from a millennial wrote this over in the UK.
Got it.
It's called Kill, Reply, All, a modern guide to online etiquette. It's by Victoria Turk, if you're interested in checking it out.
We have not vetted if she has any basis to actually make these points or any perspective that we should listen to.
Yeah, we say a study shows.
Yeah.
No. A millennial from the UK wrote a book that says.
Yeah. A period triggers me. Give me a break. She says when it comes down to it, it doesn't really matter what digital medium you're using or what the context is. It all comes back to just thinking about how other people feel first. Which... Okay, I get that. Love your neighbor as yourself. But, like, if you're going to get triggered by a period at the end of a text message, you got bigger problems.
But isn't that the point? My point of leaving a voicemail is if I have something that has any emotional sensitivity or if I need to communicate care, concern, compassion, or if it's an awkward deal, I'm leaving a voicemail so you can hear my tone, you can hear my pace. I'm thinking of your feelings.
Yes.
If you're getting a voicemail from me, it's because I'm concerned about your feelings.
Yes.
So I don't know how it would be then rude for me to leave you a voicemail.
Yeah. She also says it's rude to surprise anyone with a phone call and that you need to schedule phone calls with your friends at all times.
Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor here with Ryan and Lisa.
Wow.
Study from a young person in the UK.
Yeah.
Saying it's rude to ever call.
Yeah. Don't call without scheduling it first, or text them and let them know that they're going to call because it might seem intrusive and it might scare them.
What?
To get a phone call. Back in the day, if I got a phone call, my sister and I would try to beat each other to the phone to answer it.
Yes.
Yeah. Like
It's not intrusive. If it's intrusive, don't have a phone.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. We're readily available. And if we don't want to be readily available, then we probably leave our phone at home.
Yeah. I'm going to decide. What was her name?
Victoria Turk.
I'm going to decide at this point on I will not receive any life coaching or anything that would guide my life from Victoria Turk.
None.
Yes.
God bless her. I want God's best for her.
Yes.
Congrats on your new book.
Congrats on the book.
Yeah. Way to go.
You are not invited to be a guest on our podcast.
Here's what I thought, though. Let's dig into this next break. Stick with us because here's what I have noticed is if I get a voicemail from somebody, I assume something's important. But I have noticed this is I have emotional responses to receiving texts from different people.
Ooh.
And I've noticed that, like, sometimes, like, the text I get, like, if I see that my wife has texted me, maybe, like, midday, I don't like it, but I there's an interesting emotion that I get around it. So I want to dig into is what kind of emotions do we get triggered when people communicate to us by text? We don't know what the text says. We just see their name.
It's going to be good. I can't wait for this.
Stick around. Let's figure it out. We'll send you a text, remind you here in like 3 minutes. We probably won't. But don't go anywhere. It's Radio Theology, a weekly dose. Faith, hope, love, and music. Whose text messages trigger you with the most amount of anxiety or any negative emotion? Think about it for a second. There, yep, you got it. Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Daron here with Ryan and Lisa. Talking about the new ways we communicate.
Yeah.
Study came out from some girl in the UK saying that it's rude for us to leave voice messages for each other.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Yeah.
Now we always text.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that there are certain people that when I get a text from them, I don't necessarily go, oh boy, wonder what they want.
Yeah.
I might go, oh boy.
Uh-oh. I wonder what they want.
I wonder what they want.
Yeah.
Ryan, who creates the most anxiety and when you see their name?
For me, it's not anxiety so much as it is just like I know that it's going to take some time to invest in processing this message, and it's from my dad.
Oh,
My
yeah.
dad leaves like 4-minute long epic voicemails, and he also it's like he transcribes the voicemails and puts them into text at times as well.
Oh my gosh. So you're scrolling,
It's just
scrolling.
yeah, it's like the Magna Carta trying to read one of my dad's texts at
But your
times.
dad is one of the most encouraging bros in the world.
Oh, that's the thing. That's the upside.
But
is
you just
that
know, this is not going to be a quick communication.
No, and it's not anxious. It's just like, okay, how
Here we
much
go.
time we got here?
Lisa, what about you?
Yes. I always worry when my husband texts me because I'm like, oh my gosh, he bought another car.
Oh, yeah.
He bought another car.
He's been known to do that.
Oh my gosh, he
Yeah.
can't stop with the cars.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no, I know I'm not interested in watching this YouTube video on this Lexus.
Your driveway
Golly.
always looks like there's a birthday party going on at your house, basically. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So yes,
Yeah.
hence like instant sweating.
Here's what started
Okay.
for me, and I didn't like this. I talked to my wife about it. I noticed that, like, if it's usually It depends on what time of the day it is.
Okay.
But a lot of times if I get a text from my wife midday, I get anxious like I'm in trouble. Now, granted, that could be on me, that there have been enough times that I have been
That's good ownership
in trouble,
right there. That's,
right?
Yes.
That's good.
Because I'm usually thinking I have forgotten something. Sometimes I'm thinking, is there a child somewhere that I was supposed to pick up?
Yes.
There,
The possibilities are
not
endless.
that I have forgotten kids around the nation before. I don't know. But it does. It strikes up like a little bit of anxiety in me.
Yeah.
And so I need to talk about that because here's what I think.
This is a safe place.
Safe place.
Yes, it's just us in all of Central Indiana.
Yeah.
That is saying something because that text message is the way that we communicate most often. And when you get the ding, right? You get the ding, or if you see the little
3 dots,
the little 3 dots.
Woo!
You don't know tone.
Nothing.
You don't know context. You don't know what's happening on the other side of it. You just know there is communication coming your way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Radio Theology, a weekly dose of faith, hope, love, music. Pastor Daron here. And guys, here's the thought. Let me hit you with a spiritual segue.
Spiritual segue.
What about God? If you think about that with your Ryan, with your husband, Lisa, Ryan, for you, when Dad comes through with the text message that's literally the Constitution of the United States, and with my wife or other friends, I'm wondering what kind of anxiety do we feel like when God is sending us maybe a text message, and by text, I'm literally doing a play on words here, meaning the Bible.
Wow.
Right. The text of the Bible. When we get into it, how do we read and interpret what he's trying to say to us?
Right. Is he yelling at us? Right? Or is he speaking gently to us and we're yelling at ourselves because we have a guilty conscience?
Ooh.
That's pretty good there, Lisa.
Oh, thank you.
That's really good.
Let's dig into it because I'm wondering. Because think about some of the most famous scriptures like love your neighbor as yourself. Like if you're feeling like God's mad at you, you're like, hey, love your neighbor as yourself. You kidding me?
Yeah.
How many times do I have to tell you?
Right. When you could be like, hey, you know what?
You can do it.
How about we love our
Gentle
neighbors
tap.
as ourselves,
Gentle tap.
guys?
There you
Everybody in here. 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
friendship.
It's
on
not
now.
all caps with
Group
exclamation
hug.
points.
Yeah.
Somebody bring the guitar. Kumbaya.
Kumbaya. Let's dig in. How do you actually emotionally respond to text messages from God? Right here on Radio Theology, a weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. If you got a text message from God this morning, how would you emotionally respond? Interessante.
Yeah.
Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Daron here with Ryan and Lisa. Jump on social media and give us a follow. We'd love to hang out with you every day this week. Just search for Radio Theology. And guys, we've established that we emotionally respond differently when we get text from people in different kinds of relationships.
Sure.
If things are warm and fuzzy and great, probably excited.
Can't pick up your phone fast enough.
If there's some maybe relational drama, little angst, maybe it's a little bit of a sweaty, like, oh no, what's happening now?
Yeah.
So we can't respond. God does not, if he's sending you text messages, I'd love to hear about it. We'll feature you here on the show. I've yet to receive a text message on my phone from God. However, play on words here, we do have quite a bit of text from God.
Wow, that's really good.
Wow.
They don't teach that in Bible school. You can't teach that segue right there. That was really good, Pastor Daron.
It's called the Bible.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm thinking that oftentimes as we engage in the text, the words of God, it's stirring some different emotions in us. Not only the way that we receive the text, but the way we read it. Like, what is his tone as he's speaking to us?
I think it depends on how good you feel about this particular sentence that you're reading.
So it's contextual on not just on how you're doing, but on the way you view the actual text that you're reading.
Yeah, right? It's all about you, really, when it comes down to it and interpreting it. Like, if I feel like, man, I'm doing such a good job loving my neighbor, then I'm going to read it like, love your neighbor. Done. I am awesome doing it. God just reminded me, and this is amazing. But if it's something like, die to yourself or all these big, deep Bible things, and then I feel like, oh, I'm struggling with that, or I don't know what that means, or whatever, then I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Just close the book.
So you're saying you interpret God's tone based on your performance, not his character.
Oh!
Wow.
I don't like when you say that.
Yeah, I didn't like it for you when I thought it either.
Still going to just plop it right there on your lap, though.
Radio Theology, Weekly Dose of Faith, Hope, Love, and Daron. No, and music. This is Pastor Daron with Ryan and Lisa. And I haven't thought that until we literally just said it.
Okay.
I think, it's not you, Lisa.
Yes.
It's all of us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think we interpret God's tone based on our performance, not his character.
Dang it.
That's kind of a truth bomb that we're going to need to unpack
I
a little
know.
bit
I
more.
don't feel. I feel like the sticky heaviness in the air. You're right though. You're right. But there's a difference between like feeling the conviction and feeling like the condemnation part of it. I think that's what we were trying to say.
It was, but that's what I'm saying is that if God's character is he does not condemn us.
Right.
And he's not mad at us.
Right.
Like if that's his character, then I'm always going to interpret his tone in a way of like, I can talk to you in a way that might convict you. Like, hey, we might need to look at this. This is probably not working in your life. Mm-hmm. But the tone doesn't have to create some kind of condemned, anxious feeling that makes me want to move away from him.
Do you think he uses guilt as a tool sometimes?
Oh.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with guilt, in my opinion. That's conviction. Like if you did something wrong, you can feel guilty, and you're not being judged if you feel guilty. If you feel guilty, you feel guilty. Right. The difference is guilt says what I did was wrong. Condemnation says I am wrong because of what I did.
Right.
It's an identity. Yeah, who I am. I am wrong because I did wrong. No, you can still be right. You just did wrong. Let's talk about what you did, and let's get curious about it so maybe we can fix why we did it.
Oof.
But that's a tough one. But we don't have time to unpack it right now, but we will on this week's episode of Behind the Mic. It's an episode we release every single week. It's about a 28-minute conversation of deeper stuff that we talk about here on the show. We think you would love it. It would really help you take those next step of faith in your life. You can get it wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for the Radio Theology podcast and download the Behind the Mic episode. Hey, ladies, it's time again for the segment that brings some peace to your soul. You know it's time for Lisa's Pieces. Let's go.
Lisa's Pieces.
Lisa, this backing music, I recognize this.
Yeah.
I think it can only mean one thing.
Yeah. I did it again.
Oops. You did it again. All right. Unpack it for us. What happened?
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so the other night I put the kids down. If you're a mother, you put the kids down and then it's your time. It's your precious time.
I understand that.
Right? You can get that as a father,
yes.
too. You know.
Got three kids. I get it.
Yes.
Once they go to bed, it's peace on earth.
Oh, hallelujah.
At least it's supposed to be.
Angels sing
Yes.
and all the things. Well, then my daughter Josie, she's making trips to the bathroom and she's doing all the things. But I'm like, you know what? I'm on my couch and I'm writing. I'm pretending like I'm not even hearing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because you don't exist. It's my time. Well, then she's at the top of the stairs. Mommy. And I'm like, you will die for this. And so I'm like,
that sounds a little aggressive.
It's a little aggressive.
But you're just being honest today.
In my mind,
I embrace it.
I didn't yell. I said, what, sweetheart? I need you to lay with me. And I'm like, So I slam my computer on the couch and I get up and I'm stomping upstairs. So I'm passive aggressive. And in my head, I'm cursing her and I'm saying all the things like, this is my time. I can't believe you don't understand that this is my time now.
Right.
It's mine. Right. And I'm getting nuts and I'm like working myself up. And she's like, I just need you to lay with me. And I'm like, ugh, fine. So then I slide in under her covers, put my arm around her. She is asleep literally instantly. The deep breaths, the sign. And I'm like, oh, she honestly, she just needed me to hug her for 1 second.
Just need a little companionship.
She just needed. Look, I get it. You know where she gets that from? Me.
Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor here with Ryan and Lisa. Yes, so your daughter needed a little snuggle time. She was definitely infringing on mom time.
Right.
But you realize, you know what? Wait a second. Maybe she just needed a little love.
She did. She just needed a little tiny bit of love, which she does get from me.
True.
I'm physical touch all the live long day, right? Nothing like a hug just gets me to calm it down. That's all she needed, and she was asleep. And so what in my mind was going to ruin my night and ruin today because she's probably going to be crabby and da-da-da-da, and that falls on me. It took me literally 30 seconds to walk up the stairs, get in bed, she's sleeping, go. And then I laid in bed and went, I did it again. I did it again because I've been working on my selfishness, and I've been working on this, why am I getting anxious at bedtime? Their bedtime, not my bedtime. Their bedtime. Because it's my time. And it was the sweet sound of conviction in my heart. And I wanted to pass it off as mom guilt. I'm like, I don't subscribe to that, and nobody's making me feel guilty about my time. No, there's the difference between mom guilt, condemnation, and conviction, which we've talked about this morning a lot. But man, it was like, ooh, I need to be honest with myself in this moment. This is her time too. It's my time, but like my call as a mom to hug my girl, really? And you know what I was doing? Trying to write? Could not write a thing. Like I was staring at a blank cursor, and somehow that's more important than 5 seconds with my kid. Woo! So there we go. That's my lesson, and my encouragement is you can listen to the sound of mom guilt all day long and unsubscribe. But man, when that conviction comes, when you know you probably need to take a deeper look into what's going on, don't walk away from it.
I love it, Lisa. And if that was encouraging to you, go check out what she's doing at IamMotherOfTheYear.com. Thousands of women all over the nation getting together, encouraging each other, taking better steps to be Mom of the Year every single day. Go check it out at IamMotherOfTheYear.com. Don't you love it when you read a news story and the only 3 words that come to your mind are, Lord have mercy. It's Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Daron here with Ryan and Lisa. Let's go. Guys, we're going to start in Utah.
Right?
A man purchased something in 1999, back when Bill Clinton was president, and it's still in pristine form. Guess what it is?
His magic Mormon underpants?
Holy buckets. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But no, it's a McDonald's hamburger.
Oh, no.
That's just gross.
He bought a Big Mac. It was in a Big Mac tin. He had it in a pocket because he was doing some kind of research. Pocket of a coat. Left the coat in a van.
Yeah.
They moved, put the coat in a closet, left it there for years. When he realized he still had the Big Mac, he kept it as an experiment, and 20 years later, it is still in pristine form.
That's so gross.
I wish I could say that was going to stop me from ever eating McDonald's again. It won't.
Not a chance.
Nope.
We'll just say a fresh and decomposing.
Beefy.
Lord. Beefy.
Lord have
mercy.
Good gracious. Ryan, what do you got?
We're going to Mother Russia, you guys. There was a trio of pigs that escaped the house that they live in, and they make their way into a grocery store, a Russian version of Kroger's. I put an S at the end of Kroger's, and I hate that. I'm sorry if that triggered you.
They do that in Russia.
Yeah. They walk into the supermarket, and they start going through the liquor aisle, and they knock over with their noses. They knock over bottles of cognac and start drinking it.
No.
Lapping it up.
Yes.
Yeah, and people are just standing around like this is normal, like taking their phones out, making way for the pigs to do their shopping.
Yes.
The pigs were eventually corralled up and returned to their rightful owner.
I'd love to hear the audio of the pigs talking to each other.
Sergey, quick, go to the cognac and knock it over. Okay, Vladimir. Oh, let's get drunk in the supermarket.
We are going to party.
Like it's 1982.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, for them. And we just say, Lord have mercy. Lisa, bring us home.
I can't even, you guys. We're going all the way to Uganda, Africa, where there is a man named Joe, and he has the power to kill malaria-carrying mosquitoes.
Okay, like does he put out like mosquito strips or something, or like...
You would think, or actually you would probably hope, but what he actually does is he farts.
What?
He farts all over the village, and no one gets malaria.
What?
Right. Okay.
Wow.
So I'm thinking this guy came up with this himself.
Okay.
No. The village mayor, everyone in the town knows of this man and his powers.
Oh, man.
He's very careful not to fart on people.
Right. Can't do
and
that.
just for the record, his toxin is not deadly to people.
Oh, wow.
But he drops bloomers is what the
he crop dust.
He drops bloomers is what the mayor calls it. Just all around, especially during mosquito season. And so no one in their town has
His
contracted.
farts kill the mosquitoes and no one gets malaria.
No one gets malaria.
Wow.
For years and years, he was brought in as an orphan because of his magical farting powers.
I don't even know if I'm mad or kind of impressed right now.
I'm wondering if someone's trying to bottle it up and like,
No,
you know.
he is now, like, scientists are, they're not bottling it, but they're studying the toxin in his
They're not
farts.
studying his farts.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Scientists are studying his farts.
This is not
He's
true.
saving people from malaria.
He's got
You guys, it's an
superpowers.
epidemic.
It is an epidemic.
Guys, I'm here. I'm here to the village. I'm here to save everyone.
You're welcome.
Stand back, ma'am.
Stand back! Can you imagine being the mosquito and like hearing that story about this weird dude who's just got magic farts that could kill you?
Guys, the magic farts are here.
It's Joe! Get out of the way! We're not gonna die!
Okay,
Oh,
we've
man.
lost it. We've got to go.
Apparently, we are 12 years old.
And all we're going to say is,
Lord have mercy!
Say my name, say my name.
What's in a name? We all have one. Do we know what they mean? Does it even matter? Let's figure it out right here on Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor here with Brian and Lisa. And guys, we all got names. Looked mine up this week. Daron means great, not bad. Oh, it just means great. I just meant what I'm saying is it's not bad that my name means great.
What,
Sure.
what language does it mean great in? Do you know?
Yes, I do. It's in the thing that said that I forgot.
Oh, okay. So it's in Googleese.
It's in Googleese.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
However, my middle name, John,
Yep.
is a Hebrew name.
Okay.
Okay.
It means God is gracious. So I'm going to be honest. I looked it up, and at the end of it, I was like, I kind of feel good about this.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I am great, and God is gracious. Both of these straight facts.
Dream team.
Google told me I'm great. I'm great.
What about you, Ryan?
Ryan means little king in Irish Gaelic.
Aw.
And Lewis, my middle name, means famous in battle.
Ooh.
He's just a little king.
But he is famous in
Yeah,
battle,
I'm famous
if
in battle.
you know what
That's right. That's right. What about you, Lisa?
Lisa means consecrated to God, which means dedicated or set apart. And then Joe, my country middle name,
Joe.
That's very Illinois.
oh, for sure, means God is merciful.
Ooh. So say it all together.
So I am set apart and God is merciful.
See, I like this. Now, have you guys ever thought about what your name meant before in your life?
I used to have a little, like,
One of those
poster that
nameplate
said,
thingies?
yeah,
Right
that
by your
Lisa,
footprints
consecrated.
framed little picture on your wall.
100%. Yeah.
I was carrying you. Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Daron here with Ryan and Lisa. Does your name make any difference? Your parents probably gave you one.
Yeah.
Now, I'm guessing some of the new people that are getting new names that are just a little bit wacko.
Oh, gosh.
Yep.
They don't.
Let's not
Let's not.
pass.
You know, what does...
We are letting our child name itself because we feel it's really oppressive to name it for it.
Most people name... Everybody has a name. I don't think most parents dig into what the name actually means. They just like it.
Right.
They don't know anybody in their life that hated that had that name.
Sure.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that's interesting, though, is I like, and I will own great and God is gracious, but it hasn't guided me in my life.
Sure.
But here's the thing about our names. My name meant something before I filled my name with meaning for the life I'm living with it.
Can you say that again?
Okay, my name literally means great, God is gracious.
Yeah.
But now if you walk up to somebody and say, do you know Daron John Earlywine? They don't think, great, God is gracious. I have filled my name with meaning by how I lived my life.
Wow, that's so true. Okay. Dang. Have you filled it well?
I've tried.
Yeah.
I don't think you meet too many people that they have, Daron John Earlywine, and they go, I didn't know his middle name was John. But then I hope they're not like spit on the ground and be like, hate that man.
Dude, if you were a DJ, you'd be DJ. I think we need to start calling you DJ.
Well, sometimes I just go by DJE.
DJE?
Nice.
That's kind of a cool initial there.
I don't hate it.
DJE.
Here's the thing, though. You can change your name. Some people do.
Yeah, legally.
Probably you're not going to change your name. Here's a question I want to ask, though. If the life you're living is way far off what your name actually means in a good way, how do you actually get that on track and start maybe bringing them together?
Great question.
Really
Let's come back. Figure it out.
with DJE.
What's in a name, specifically yours, and does it matter? We're digging into it right here on Radio Theology, a weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Daron here with Ryan and Lisa. If you're intrigued, if you're entertained, if you like what we're talking about this morning, go like us on social media. Just search for Radio Theology. You can also get the podcast wherever you get your podcast. Just search for the Radio Theology. This week at our church, Davey Blackburn, one of our pastors, talked about names and about what difference they make and how we identify ourselves by them. So we looked up our names. My name's great. God is gracious. Lisa, yours means consecrated
To God.
to God.
Yes.
What's the second one?
Oh, and God is merciful.
Great. Ryan, yours means?
Little king who's famous in battle.
Man,
I feel great about that.
So good. You should.
Yeah.
You should.
What our names mean makes a difference, but so often I don't know that we even. I've never been guided in my life by what my name actually means, and hopefully your son's not.
No, exactly. So, and we didn't choose we chose Calvin because it was the only boy name we liked out of all the boy names. And then in the sermon, I'm like, oh, I wonder what Josie's name means. Okay, cool. What does Calvin mean? Bald and hairless. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And the night before, I had buzzed him down with a 2. So he really was bald and hairless that morning. I was like, oh my gosh, buddy. But it's okay if that's the worst that he could identify himself as. It's fine.
Wait, and it's interesting because here's what I'm guessing. His name means bald and hairless. Aww. But here's what Calvin's not going to do. Because we don't necessarily identify by what our name means.
Yeah.
He's not going to walk up to people and be like, hi, my name's Calvin, bald and hairless.
Here we go.
But how many times, we've been talking about this week, how many times do we introduce ourselves and even how we present ourselves? And we present ourselves or introduce ourselves by our worst. Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor here with Ryan and Lisa, right? How often do you say, hey, name something that's tough? Like, my name's Daron, I'm an alcoholic. No, I guess if you're at an AA meeting. Yeah. But oftentimes we will introduce ourselves or at least present ourselves into relationships based on maybe some of our worst characteristics or mistakes.
Right. Or things we're insecure about. Like sometimes I find myself going, I'm Lisa. Yeah, you've probably heard about me. I'm the crier. Or, awkward's my specialty because I probably just did something that was awkward. And so then I use that to define myself real quick so then they don't have a chance to do that for me.
Oh. But it can be a positive too because, Ryan, I'm sure there's times you've introduced yourself and it's like, I'm an artist, singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
Here's what I want you to know about me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was a straight no chaser. I have not gold medals. Gold records.
Gold records.
Hanging on my wall.
Gold medals in a cappella.
Yes.
Yeah. I kind of like the definition of my name. It's weird. I've had a sense of calling in my life. I think really around maybe early high school when I got into my lane, for lack of a better term, of just knowing that I think my life is going to be somewhat extraordinary, and I like owning that. I like it because I don't think it comes from me. I think it comes from God, and what I do with it is then on me. But I kind of like it. It's empowering to me.
I think it matters what we say about ourselves.
Yep.
Right? Finding that we're not throwing ourselves under the bus. We're not thinking too highly of ourselves. We're thinking normally of ourselves. But here's why I think that where I want to go now is actually the biggest thing that matters is what God says about us.
Right.
Like the fact that he does actually call us by name. We're not just a random whoever to him. He calls us by name, and he does actually have a purpose for our life, whether we're named Hairless Wonder or not.
Yeah.
Let's jump into that next here on Radio Theology. Does God know your name, and does it matter? We're going to answer it right now here on Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Guys, having fun today talking about our names. Mm-hmm. Everybody has a name, but they mean something. You can look it up, go Google your name. You'll find out what it's supposed to mean. Whether or not you know that probably has not been guiding your life.
Right.
But here's the cool thing, is that I love the fact that God actually knows your name. And unfortunately for Lisa's son, his name is Hairless and Bald. Well, his name is Calvin.
His name is Calvin,
but it
right.
It
means bald and hairless.
Bald and hairless. Uh-huh. Hopefully that doesn't work out for him that way. But God doesn't respond. It won't, as Calvin grows, God's not going to respond to him and be like, hey, hairless and bald, right?
Right.
As he works to let Cal know, listen, I'm for you, not against you. I'm near you, not far from you. I've created you on purpose and for purpose. He's going to call him by his name, Calvin.
Right.
And I love how personal God is with us in the fact that he's not responding to us based on our performance, whether we got a D- in life or an A+. He's responding and inviting us into a relationship based on his love and on his character. And that's good news this morning.
Oh, that's a huge relief.
Yeah,
huge relief.
Especially for your little bald and hairless little kangaroo Joey of a son. Have you seen those little guys when they're born? They're so kind of They're like a little naked rat.
Kangaroos don't have hair when they're born?
I don't know when they're born. Maybe when they're in their mom's pouch, but we digress. Let's keep talking about our identity in Christ Jesus.
Cal didn't either.
It's Radio Theology, a weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. And I tell you what, here's the cool thing, is God does call us by name, and he does actually have a purpose for our life. Tomorrow's MLK Day. And I think about Martin Luther King Jr., his name, like, because of the way he lived and the way he responded to God's call in his life, like, now it's not even his name. I can just say MLK, like the abbreviation of his name, carries so much impact, because I think he took the call that God had in his life and he responded to it, and he filled his life with the meaning that his calling actually possessed. And then now his name is full of so much power and purpose because of the way he lived his life. And I think that's probably what we all really want out of our life, don't we?
That's exactly what I was going to say. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I got to the end of my life and someone could say half, a quarter, a tenth of that about me, I'd be thrilled.
Because I nerded out while you guys were just talking, I did find out what Martin Luther King's name meant.
What is it?
And it means a warlike army of people.
Wow. Which is really what he led.
Martin is from Mars, the god of war, and Luther means army people.
Yeah. He led an army of people, to rise up against, social injustice, racism.
Against, things that
are... Oh, gosh.
So
that's
maybe
cool.
Maybe it is in our name.
Fulfilled his destiny.
Yeah, and I'm sure his parents didn't know when he was born and they named him, this is what he would do.
Yeah.
Right.
That's great for Martin Luther King, and I'm glad we're celebrating his life tomorrow. I don't know what that means for your son, Lisa.
Oh my gosh, I don't know either. But you know what? If bald and hairless is the worst you could say about him, then that's fine. If that's the best, maybe I have failed.
Listen, we're not saying that you're going to change the whole world like Martin Luther King Jr. did, but you will make an impact on your world when you understand your worth and who God has created you to be. And we got to help you maybe understand that, the name, the way God's created you. So if you want to jumpstart to understand that purpose, head over to IamBornToBe.com this morning. Get the free 5-day Jumpstart to Purpose devotional. I'll send you it every morning this week, and you can begin filling your life with the purpose and meaning that God has placed behind your name. Go check it out right now at IamBornToBe.com.
It's the thought of the day with Pastor Daron.
What does your name say about you? Because there's a lot in a name. There's a lot in your name. I don't know if you knew this, but your name carried meaning before you filled it with your own life. My name is Daron John Earlywine. Daron means great. I like that. And John means God is gracious. I really like that. Now, I didn't know that until this week, but I really do like it. However, I didn't always like my name. In fact, in 4th grade, I tried to get rid of my last name. I thought Earlywine was weird and embarrassing, so during a 4th grade awards ceremony, I begged my teacher to just say my first name when she called my name. Now, thought this was a great idea. I was pretty excited when I knew my name was coming up. It was going to be kind of like a Bono / Beyonce moment, even though Beyonce didn't really exist then, but that's beside the point. But it totally backfired because she's saying everybody else's first and last name. She gets to my name and she says, Daron. And it sounded like I was in trouble. Everybody looked at me. I was embarrassed. It was really, really stupid. I guess it only works if you're Bono or Cher or Prince or Beyonce, not if you're Daron. Now, if you don't know what your name means, maybe take some time today and look it up, because you might be pleasantly surprised. And the good news is that no matter what your name actually means or what life you've built around your name, God knows your name. And not only does he know it, he actually calls you by name to his love. Isn't that good news? To God, you're not a, hey you, or like a number. To God, you're a name. You're a life. You're his child, and he loves you. He likes you, and he died for you. That's really, really good news this morning. And no matter what your actual name means, your actual life means so much to God. And when we respond to the first name invitation to be loved by him and to follow him, he begins to shape a life within you and through you that could be beyond your wildest dreams. Today might be your day to start reshaping your life, reshaping your name, not around what your parents named you or not around the life you've built, but on who God calls you to be and who God's created you to be. If you need a jump start on that, I want you to go get the free 5-day jump start to purpose. You can just go to IamBornToBe.com this morning, and I'm going to send you the 5-day jump start to purpose. Every day this week, you'll get an email from me that gives you a short audio devotional to listen to that will help you start unpacking who God's created you to be. I don't know what your name is, but I know that God does, and He has a great purpose for your life. Head over to IamBornToBe.com this morning. I'm Pastor Daron Earlywine, and that's been your Radio Theology Thought of the Day.